What is going on, everybody? Welcome to all the opera extraordinaires, the classical connoisseurs, if you will, the lovers of luxurious listening. Ooh, yes, just came up with that. Welcome back to Opera Anna. My name is Anna. I am an opera singer and I am here to opera up your life so hard today, it is unreal. Today I'm listing the top 5 operas that, in my humble opinion, you should go to as a first-time opera goer. You'll notice that there are only dramatic operas on here, only serious operas, opera seria. And in the next video, we will be looking at comic operas or opera buffa. So if you have a suggestion of an opera that you think should be on the list, please let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, hit subscribe. It's just one click, it's right there. It's easier than writing a comment, I mean, really, like. So if you're ready to opera up your life and get some insider tips on the best operas to see as a first time or second time or third time opera goer, then stick around.
There's just no one and the whole day is just waiting for you. I'm just like, so much fun.
Before we begin, I would just like to say that number 5 to number 1 does not equal worst to best. It is literally just the order that I thought of these operas in. The only thing that I will say is that number 1 holds a special place in my heart, but we will get to that. So coming in at number 5, Giacomo Puccini's opera La Boheme. This opera proves time and time again to be such a powerful, gorgeous, heart-wrenching, amazing opera that it is super easy to find on any opera theater's program. I have even covered an aria in Aria Explained, Mi chiamano Mimi, from La Boheme, which you can find right here. The opera follows the story of Rodolfo and Mimi, who fall in love right at the beginning of the opera, but have to part because of Mimi's illness, from which she will eventually die at the end of the opera. Spoiler alert, obviously. Rodolfo wants her to find a rich man who can take care of her with her illness, which is why they part, but right as she's about to die at the end, she comes back and dies in Rodolfo's arms, and it is so gorgeous. Before that, and even during when she's dying, we get some of the most gorgeous music you've ever heard in your life. Ugh, come on, Mirella Freni, get out of here. Funnily enough, in a super, super tragic way, it's not funny. It's not funny.
I'm being serious.
Compose yourself, Anna. When news of Puccini's death in 1924 reached Rome, that same night, La Boheme was playing in the opera house, and when it made its way into the halls of the opera theater, they literally stopped the performance to play Chopin's funeral march in honor of the composer. Can you even imagine? Ugh. Moving on to number 4 on our list, La Traviata by Giuseppe Verdi, or John Green, as my dad would say. La Traviata is not only one of my favorite operas because of the banger of an aria that is Sempre Libera, but because it contains some pretty famous chorus work. Got my opera voice on today. What is up? What is in this? God. That's right, the Libiamo Brindisi drinking song chorus is found in the very first act of this opera, in which Alfredo and Violetta, a courtesan, fall in love and end up running away together. But they have to be separated because they're running away together sort of ruined the entire of Alfredo's family's entire reputation, and now his sister can't get married, so Violetta ends up sacrificing both her happiness and that of Alfredo for his family. They're both heartbroken and bitter, and when they finally get back together, they're finally reunited when it might be possible to have a life together. She dies from the illness that we saw starting to plague her in the first act of the opera. Sounds really, really familiar now that I think about it. Anyway, it is so beautiful. This entire opera, I die every time. And that might have been a poor choice of words. So both Puccini and Verdi are from the Verismo era of music, and for number 3, we're gonna go back just a little bit in time to an opera by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart entitled Don Giovanni. One of the most amazing composers who have ever graced this green earth. Mozart cannot be missed on any list of operas ever. Beginner operas, just essential operas in general, and you can be sure he will be found on the comic one as well. Don Giovanni is part of the big 3 that he composed together with librettist Lorenzo da Ponte, including Le Nozze di Figaro and Così fan tutte. Don Giovanni tells the story of the infamous Don Juan, who is the, Casanova of the world, who meets his downfall when the father of an attempted seduction or rape in Donna Anna, depending on who the director of the opera is at the particular production you're at, haunts him from beyond the grave after Don Giovanni kills him in the first act, and in the final scene we see Don Giovanni pull him down into hell, just like this, like he's pulling a bucket of water out of a well, just like this. Come on, Don Giovanni. And for the first time on this list, the woman doesn't die of consumption. Score. Yes. It has one of my favorite arias of all time, and I think any baritone's favorite aria of all time, the catalog aria, in which Leporello, Don Giovanni's servant, is reading out the number of seductions that Don Giovanni has had in every country. Gerald Finley. What about this? Is gonna take me forever because I just want to watch all the operas. And obviously the most famous Don Giovanni. Dun 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 dun. And of course we all know this from Amadeus. Who are the singers? This drives me nuts. Who are the singers? I almost don't want to show it because they don't name their singers. Everyone go there, leave a comment asking about the singers. Maybe we'll find out. Oh, hello, Popeye. Moving on to number 2, and the only French opera on our list today is the opera by Georges Bizet entitled Carmen, with a female heroine, bitches. Unfortunately, we are back to the heroine dying at the end of the story, but not because she's sick. No. Her former lover, Don José, whom she falls in love with at the beginning of the opera, is so lovesick after their affair that he ends up killing her in a passionate, violent fit after they break up. Carmen, as I also explained in the aria explained that I did of the habanera, has some of the most recognizable music that you have ever heard in the entire world. First-time opera goers will for sure recognize multiple parts of this opera, which is why it's coming in at number 2. Not only that, but it is an opéra comique, which means that there is still some speaking involved because of the performance tradition. So if you're thinking, yeah, I could go to an opera, like, sure, but there's so much singing. Rest assured that this is a nice little dip in the water, like a little, just like a dip in your toe, and instead of diving full frontal into the deep end. This is especially fun for the feminists out there because Carmen is the #1 strongest woman you have ever seen in your entire life. Probably the most feminist, like independent, strong woman that's ever been on an opera stage. Yeah, not only on the opera stage, but like ever. And even though she dies at the end, I promise you will come out of that opera more in touch with your feminine power. And now, opera #1, the #1 opera that I recommend to first-time opera goers, none other than Verdi's Rigoletto. Not only is this an amazing opera with recognizable music that is very approachable for first-time opera goers, but it holds a special place in my heart because it was my first opera. I went to go see a production of Rigoletto at Miller Outdoor Theater in Houston, Texas, my hometown, and it was so fun. Wow. That was when I went from thinking like opera sucks to thinking like, oh, this is kind of cool. I think I'll go to another one. Once again from Giuseppe Verdi, the opera Rigoletto is about the hunchback court jester Rigoletto and his daughter Gilda. Rigoletto works for the Duke of Mantua, who falls in love with Gilda secretly because nobody knows that Gilda is Rigoletto's daughter. A curse is put on all three of them and comes to fruition when Rigoletto hires an assassin for the Duke of Mantua, but is duped by his own daughter when she learns about it and sacrifices herself for the Duke and the man that she loves. And it's just so heart-wrenching. It's just, oh, the curse. So one of the main conditions for making this top 5 list of dramatic operas for beginners is that the music is recognizable, at least in some parts. And apparently also that someone has to die, although I definitely did not plan that. That was not my plan. But that is no exception in Rigoletto. This opera is home to the very famous aria La Donna Immobile, coming from the Duke of Mantua himself.
Sempre amabile, leggiadro viso, infiato il riso, e menzognero.
Look at those eyes.
La donna immobile, tua più malavento, usa d'accento.
It's gorgeous, but it's talking about how fickle women are, so. Verdi literally kept this aria secret from the cast and the orchestra until the day of the premiere so that nothing would get leaked. And for good reason. It was extremely popular when it first premiered, and people were singing it in the streets after the first show. Like, it's just that good. So that's it for my top 5 operas that you should consider going to as a first or second or third opera goer. There are so many amazing operas that didn't make it to the list. So if you think of one that you think like, Opera Anna, I want to know what you guys think. What was your first opera, or what was the opera that really made you fall in love with opera, made you want to listen to it more or become an opera singer? Let me know in the comments below. And also subscribe, because we're doing comic operas next time. Like, you want to know about that. Stay tuned as well for when I will break down La Donna Immobile from Rigoletto in the next aria explained, and you don't even know when that's coming, so now you have to subscribe. So also turn on the bell notifications. Thank you for joining me to Opera Up Your Life today. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. I cannot wait to hear which opera you decide to go see and see all of your wonderful comments. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I love you. I will see you next time. Addio.
Addio, addio, speranza in anima.